Okay, I'm scared because they're gonna get all fired up. All right, here we go. Hi, beautiful soul. Welcome to my channel. If you don't know who I am Marianna. I have FND, which is functional neurological disorder. Today is October 10th. It is technically the 2-year anniversary of the development of my FND. We don't have an exact date of when my tics started. However, there was a journal entry I have from October 10th of 2020. So I just kind of assume it's somewhere around this part of October. This is gonna be tricky. When I talk about tics, well, let me explain kind of what FND is and I'll explain what tics are. There's also no music playing right now, so my tics are like, woo. So, hello. This is FND re-explained. FND stands for functional neurological disorder. It is a very umbrella term, so it can mean many different things for many different people. It depends on who you ask. For me personally, it is tics and episodes. Well, tics are misfires in your brain. That's what's causing me to move and say things and make weird gestures and all that fun stuff. It can be anywhere from a little noise, the little jerk my abdomen does, to singing and saying full sentences. My arms can get pretty, no, okay, when I talk about it, obviously it happens. I'm gonna get real hot real quick. They do not hurt, however, they can have many different sensations. For me personally, at the beginning of my development, it felt like I was a pop bottle that was shaken but never opened, so there was a lot of pressure just throughout my whole body, like all the bubble, it's like the bubbles that you get in like a pop bottle. They can also feel like static electricity or like a thorn bush, there we go, thorn bush, or like bugs crawling under your skin. It is quite uncomfortable. It's not painful for me, at least. However, my tics can cause me to do harmful things like hitting the wall, which is why I'm wearing my gloves. Hitting the wall or my shoulder or my thigh, not fun, but the tics themselves don't hurt. Episodes. My episodes can last anywhere up to 5 seconds to 2 hours. Recently, they've been going back to kind of how they were in the beginning, where I have like a really hard zone out. Like I'll start a sentence and I zone out for a bit and then I'll finish it. There was a time when my episodes were anywhere between 15 minutes to an hour. There's different phases that we've kind of titled. Phase 1 is basically I'm completely unresponsive. Phase 2 is I'm kind of tracking things with my eyes. Maybe I can move, maybe I can sign. And then phase 3 is where I'm talking. And I can name everybody in the room. I just don't know my own name. That's been the only thing that's consistent with my episodes is that I don't know my name. I can name everybody else most of the time. There was a patch where I'd say like everyone's middle names, which is strange because I don't have a middle name. That's my episodes. Yeah, my story. In October of 2020, my head started to go back for some reason, and I completely ignored it. Because, you know, that's a great idea. I didn't know what it was. I don't even think I was the first one to notice that it was happening. I think it was either my roommate or my group of friends. They were like, what's going on with your head? And I was like, I don't know. I don't know. Don't worry about it. I'd come home for like fall break or Halloween or something, and my parents were like, what's going on? And I was like, I don't know. Don't worry about it. So fast forward a little bit to December, Christmas break, New Year's. In here, actually, I had my first vocal tic. At this point in December, my arms, my legs, and my whole body was experiencing motor tics. My friend Amelia was over, and I was standing like, I think like right here actually, and she was on my bed when I had like the queen size or whatever, and I just like made a weird noise. And I looked at her and she looked at me and I was like, that wasn't me. And she was like, okay. she didn't really know what to do, and I didn't really know what to do, so we were just like, all right. My parents were still asking me like, what's going on with you? Like, should we get help? And I was like, no, don't worry, they'll go away. They didn't go away. So in January, after I had gone back to school, I had a movement class and we'd meditate and do yoga and stuff while I was ticking sometime in January and disrupting the whole class, and I just couldn't stop for some reason. I was having what we would now call a tic fit, which is a series of tics, just kind of one after the other, like just completely just going off. It usually can be triggered by a couple different things, like silence. I'm having a really hard time I feel like I'm like trying to get a really full like luggage shot for some reason. It's just full of a bunch of clothes. After that class, I had to call my parents and I was like, yeah, I need help. So we went to the doctors and I just couldn't stop moving, couldn't stop shaking, couldn't stop saying random things. And they were like, yeah, you need to go to the ER. So they sent me to the ER. I spent like 5 hours there and they were like, yeah, we think you might have FND. And so I was set up with a neurologist, and on February 12th of 2021, I was diagnosed with functional neurological disorder. There's a couple of other things that they thought it might be, like they thought it was stress and anxiety tics. However, when I'm stressed or anxious, they go down, and I experience what I have had for many years, practically my whole life. What I personally call my mender mode. It's when all my emotions just kind of go away for a little bit, and I just fight for a resolution when there's something wrong, until I get to that resolution. Or like if it can be something having to do with like a late reaction time, like when I call my grandpa Judja because he was Polish. That's how you say grandpa in Polish. Anyway, when he passed away, it took me 3 weeks to realize that he had. Or with my uncle, it took me a week to realize that he had passed away. I hadn't completely phased me until like a week later, and then I just bawled, like Niagara Falls was coming down. Like I was miserable. My EEG and MRI, oh my gosh, I was supposed to talk about that because that was one of the big 2 things that I was like, oh yeah, I didn't talk about this in my last video. My EEG was first, and it overall went well. Okay, let me start over. It went relatively well for an EEG. I had an episode that first night, so we didn't have to stay there for a couple of days. My episodes were really active, so it wasn't really a surprise. Overall, it was pretty normal. However, there was a minor defect in my left temporal lobe, if I'm saying that right, and one of the waves would slow down every once in a while. The timing of when that wave would slow down and my episode were tics, there was no correlation. So they were like, let's do an MRI to be safe. And we were like, okay. So the EEG was at the end of August in 2021. The MRI was a couple weeks into September. So then in 2021. And the MRI came back completely normal. We're like, cool. Nothing there. So my episodes are technically what you would call a non-epileptic seizure. We call them episodes because when people, all the doctors say this, when people hear seizures, they freak out. And there's a zillion different types of seizures. I'm not even gonna try and name them. There's a ton. So we just call them episodes. I've been through multiple therapists, multiple doctors. I've been on different medications. I am now currently on 11 different supplements. Currently where we are now, like I said earlier, my episodes are back down until like a couple seconds, and I just kind of zone out really hard, and then I come back and I'm completely fine. Usually the end of my episodes would cause a tic fit that could last anywhere between 5 tics to 10 minutes. Like it's quite exhausting. I'd be very disoriented when I come out of episodes, dizzy, tired, and just kind of overall out of it. And my memory is completely blank. I don't remember any of it. Sometimes it'd be even way before the episode started. Where now I remember pretty much up until it happens, and I just keep going through my sentence. It's like a blip in time. Almost all of my therapists and my doctors had suggested a service animal, hence Cedar. And if you don't know who Cedar is, I have a video introducing him. He's currently sleeping right now. And so he was helping for the first couple of months that he's been here. But for some reason, my tics and everything is kind of starting to go back to the way they were before. Why? We don't know. It is what it is. That is the title of the first FND Explained video, if you haven't seen it. So yeah, I am now with a homeopathic doctor. Anne, love her. She's very sweet and very curious. So she's very thorough in everything. I've done so many different tests. I even went today, I think I have a reel of it on my Instagram of me going to get my blood drawn today, which was great. Not scared of needles, however, in these areas I am extremely frightened. I am extremely frightened. If the IV is like in the back of my hand, not an issue. I really don't mind. It's just for some reason these spots. So some things that I keep in my bag other than a water bottle, you know, chapstick and all that fun stuff on my phone are little fidgets. Poppets are great if we're out to dinner. I can just put this on the table and keep my hands occupied. Usually that helps. It's also just fun and satisfying. My gloves, I always keep my gloves on me because sometimes if I start hitting things, it doesn't feel good. It just doesn't feel good. So I have these winter gloves that, you know, like buttons, and then I can put full mitten on. Well, the past month has just kind of been hell with my tics, which is why they're popping up so much in my TikTok. I don't want to be known for my tics, and it's very frustrating to me when I can't get a take without a tic, and I just have to end up going with it because I've spent 5 hours on one video and now I'm just rambling, so we're gonna move on. I always have music. I always keep my headphones on me. These are my AirPods, and then I have some in-ears that plug into my phone if my AirPods are being whoop-de-doo, or because these have wires that wrap around my ear, if my head's really active, I'll put these in. I think y'all know this. I'm a book bug. You can tell from, yeah. My current read is kind of special. So my friend Kiara, her sister Marissa, has published a series. And I'm currently reading the second book, Whispering Shadows. The first one is called Awakening Shadows. It's up there. But anyway, I love Quinn. It's fine. Anyway, so I'm really excited about this book. Okay, so when I go to the doctors, most of the time, if it's a quick blood test, I don't usually take anything. But if I do actually go for appointment to see my neurologist, or if I'm on FaceTime with Anne, usually it's a FaceTime appointment with her, I'll have my son. My son! This is Ishmael. He is a plush that I stuffed with a bunch of my friends. He's got names all over his t-shirt. He just kind of sticks around with me. He'll go to doctor's appointments. Then we have William, my watermelon. This thing is awesome, especially when I've got really violent tics. It helps with like breathing. Like I'll just kind of squish it and like do breathing exercises with it. And yeah, that's William. He's awesome. Love him. And then I've got Kiwi. Kiwi is a warmie that I got for my cramps, because if you don't know by now, I'm a girl and I have periods that are quite painful and debilitating. So Kiwi is physical support, where Ishmael is emotional support. Emotional support and physical support. It's a great team. Yeah, I've got a couple of other fidgets and stuff in here. Whoops. Oh no! I've got a number of different sippy cups. Because I can't always use glass if I'm throwing things or if I'm like banging things around. We got me some. He's snoring. Hello! How are you sleeping during this, kid? Like, what? But yeah, so we got me some sippy cups. Here's things that help with my tics. 1, reading. Obviously. 2, if I'm focused on something tedious, they can go down. Yeah, mandalas really help. Music helps with my tics, not episodes. I mean, yeah, they do help with my episodes, I think. There's only one rule, keep the music on. Harry helps a ton with my tics and episodes, and pretty much whatever I'm into at that point. Like, I think there's been a couple episodes where my parents have put the Sterniola triplets on, and they kind of brought me out a little bit. Music, stuff that's tedious, reading. I do tic when I'm reading and working on mandalas and stuff, but it's not nearly as, I don't want to say vibrant. That's the first word that came to my mind when I said that. Not usually as, they're not big tics when I'm doing that kind of stuff. Like might have a few facial tics or like abdomen tics when I'm reading, or if I'm working on mandalas, I might hit the table, which I use boards. I recycle all the boards from all the scrap wood from downstairs to kind of put them to use instead of just trashing them or burning them. I put art on them because reduce, reuse, recycle. Not much has changed, but also everything's changed. I have now moved home back with my parents. I am no longer in school, which has been, it's been interesting. A lot of ups, a lot of downs. It's very frustrating that I've been stripped so much. The list is interesting. It's quite extensive now that I have episodes. Since I've moved out of my dorm, like my dorm room freshman year of college, I've only been behind one locked door. 1 year I've only been behind one locked door, because if someone can't get to me during an episode, it can be kind of dangerous. I can't drive. I can't work any large machinery. If I'm real ticky, it's really dangerous for me to be in the kitchen, which is lovely. I've gone for about 3 walks by myself within the past week. Like, I can't go by myself because if I have an episode, also very dangerous. Same thing with the bathroom. If I take a bath or a shower, my parents check on me often make sure I'm conscious. Yeah, I'm no longer on a medication. I'm on supplements because I don't like things that don't come from the ground. I've got all kinds of vitamins I'm taking for AM. It's AM, noon, PM, bed. I take them 4 times a day. Feel free to ask any questions. I will try my best to answer them. If I can't answer them myself, point you in the direction of someone who can. So I'll try my best to kind of keep an eye on that. And that's pretty much it. I think you guys know the drill at this point. Like, subscribe, hit the bell. If there's 2 things you're gonna do at all after watching this video, first, please hit the subscribe button. That would help me out a lot. Second, hit the bell. Please hit the bell, because with my neurological disorder, I can't always edit videos in time. All my social media, I'm on pretty much every, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, and everything is Marianna3 2002. So come say hi. Come say hi if you haven't, or if you have before, still come say hi. I like talking to you guys, so I don't get out of the house much. And also my Etsy shop is up and running. I'm trying to get some new products up, which is a lot of fun. All the experiments, I'm excited. Yay. Like my mandalas, I've been working on a lot of mandalas lately because they help with my tics. So yeah, I'll probably be flipping a bunch of clothes for Manatee Shop too. And the farmer's market. We're going to the farmer's market this year. In 2023. Farmer's market 2023. I'll be there. So I'm excited about that. Thank you so much for watching. I already went through all the fun, like, subscribe, yeah. I'm proud of you for making it through another day, because life is really hard right now. I'm gonna get real for a second. Like, everyone that I talk to is just really going through it. I don't know what's going on. There were like, I don't know if there are currently still, but there were like 6 planets in retrograde. Mercury was one of them. That's great, isn't it? Love it! So yeah, everyone's going through it. So if you need someone to talk to, I've got 2 ears. They work decently. I don't think they're like, you know, top notch or anything, but they work for the most part. So yeah, but love ya. Oh, wait. Okay, so I want to start something kind of new where if you've like made it this to a certain point in the video, you comment something. And I want to start it with something about Peter Pan, because I love Peter Pan, and if you don't know, I love Peter Pan, so Peter Pan. It can be literally anything. You can literally comment Peter Pan. I just want to see how many people make it all the way through my videos, because y'all are OGs and I love you. So appreciate you.